Hello, friends, and welcome back to Market Shares. I'm your host, Tony Blodgett, and today I want to talk about finishing 2024 strong. Matter of fact, I put together kind of my top 10 list of the things that you might want to consider in your business to make sure that not only that you end 2024 strong, but that you set yourself up for a really good 2025. You know, so many people I've heard, survive till 25. Well, guess what, guys? It's right around the corner. And I think as we get to the end of 2024, we're going to start seeing some real opportunities in the market. So now really is the time to make sure that you're prepared. So here is my top 10 list, and I'm just going to jump right into it here. The first one is eliminate distractions. When we go through a market like the one that we've been through, I think tend to let ourselves kind of get off track, lose focus. Maybe there's a hobby that you've really poured yourself into. Maybe it's golf, or maybe it's something else, something that is taking up maybe more of your time than it otherwise would if you were really focused on doing business. And look, I get it. Times were slow. Like, why not enjoy your life a little bit? But now's the time to eliminate those distractions and second jobs. Look, I know so many mortgage people that have taken on side jobs, second jobs, or full on are working another job while still claiming to be a full-time loan officer. And my opinion is you just can't do both. So if mortgage is your career, now is the time to let go of that second job, let go of that first job if it's become a first job, and really focus on your mortgage practice as we move into the fourth quarter. We're here in September, and now is really the time to really, lay into the mortgage business, in my opinion. So get rid of the distractions, get rid of second jobs. That's number one. Number two is to reset and realign your goals. Look, all of us had our visions of what 2024 was going to look like as we were doing our business planning in late 2023. And maybe it went the way you expected. Maybe it's way off course. Maybe you thought this was going to be the rebound year and we were going to see low rates in the spring, and that just didn't happen. But it doesn't really matter. But it is important that we have a game plan that we feel confident that we can accomplish. So now's the time to sit down and say, what is the fourth quarter going to look like for me? What is my production going to be? What are my activities going to be? And realign your expectations to what it can be given what the market is going to bring. Doesn't mean you're going to hit those, but you need a clear, confident path. So I would be resetting, realigning my goals this time of year. Also, number three, now is actually the time to put together your business plan for 2025. So as you're realigning your goals for the fourth quarter and how you want 2024 to wrap up, now is also the time to start planning for 2025. Don't wait until November, December, especially if we're in the height of any sort of a refinance market after, the Fed takes some action, hopefully later this month in September. Maybe they do it again. There's a lot of distractions going on. I would focus on getting my business plan dialed in right now. That's going to carry you through the end of 24 and in through 2025. So number four is get your database dialed in, get your CRM dialed in. If you don't have one, figure one out. If your company provides one and you haven't been using it, now is the time to take those classes, to get the education, get your CRM really dialed in, get it organized, get it structured, rank your past clients based on who has referred you business in the past, who's a repeat client, A's, B's, and C's. I don't need to teach a class on how to organize your CRM, but take the time and get your CRM dialed in, because as opportunities start coming our way, you're going to want to just be able to hammer through your database. You're going to want to be able to search it and organize it by interest rate, loan type, when they originated their loan. All of these details will be very necessary for sorting, filtering, and reaching out proactively to your clients. So get your CRM dialed in. That's number four. Number five, you should be making planning calls. You should be doing this right now. And if not, you should get started. You should be making planning calls with your past clients and in that conversation, setting a strike price on where they would execute a refinance based on their goals and their situation. Look, some people are going to reach out and they'll want to do a refinance right now. There's tons of refinance. Matter of fact, the MBA in the last report said that 50% of mortgage applications right now are for refinances. Doesn't mean all those are closing, but 50% are refinances. Look at your pipeline. Look at the number of applications you've taken. Are half of them refinances? If not, you're probably not making enough calls out to your database, because that's what the total number is. Refinances are actually up 100% year over year. So if it's still a very small percentage of what you're focused on, just a note that you're behind the times already. But make these planning calls. What's important about this is, even if rates aren't at a place where you know your client's going to want to refinance today, at least they know you're thinking about them. You've reached out to them. You've discussed the idea of refinancing, checked in with them. Like, do they plan on staying in this home long term? Are they interested in refinancing if the terms made sense? And then if possible, come up with what that rate needs to be and then put that in your CRM, so that when that time comes, you can just pull up all those people who said, hey, my strike price is 5.5. If rates get to 5.5, you know that all these people are going to want to move forward. You've already had the conversation with them and you can rock and roll. So super important to be making those planning calls right now. That's number 5. Number 6. This is a big one and probably overlooked, but you need to refresh on the refinance, specifically streamline refinance product guidelines. Look, these things change a little bit. I know we're all out of practice in, what's the seasoning requirement on a VA? What's the net tangible benefit? What's the waiting period? Do you have a process in place to make sure that you can check with your company to make sure that you're not within the EPO period? How do you do that efficiently and effectively? All of these things. So EPO, guidelines, product guidelines. Is there worksheets that are necessary for certain products? Learn those worksheets. Be prepared when the opportunity comes, so you're not figuring this out, because what we do know, I've been through many rate reduction cycles, and sometimes they're great. They're slow, they're gradual, you have plenty of time. Other times they're fleeting, right? Rates drop, they're only down for a couple days. Something happens in the market, they shoot back up, and you had a small window of opportunity. You need to be able to capitalize on every one of those windows of opportunity. So refresh yourself on refinance guidelines, specifically streamline refinance options, and be prepared. Number 7, understand closing cost options, including escrow account transition plans. So look, this is really important. And obviously we all know, what closing cost options are. If you're a loan officer, you know this. What I mean specifically is, I would probably have a mortgage coach template already built out with a no closing cost option, maximum cash back to borrower without it being a cash out refinance. And then what are they going to do with their escrow account? Do you work at a company that services that loan where they can roll over their escrow account? Would they want to roll it over even if they could? Some people would be okay financing in their new escrow account and getting a refund in their pocket of their old account. Does your company allow you to have them just sign a, like an arch withdrawal for their escrow account, where you can validate how much is coming in a refund, even if it's not a service loan, and then show that as a credit on their settlement statement, and then just execute that 30 days after closing? Some companies will allow you to do that. That's a great option for borrowers in especially in certain parts of the country where they pay taxes annually and we're getting close to tax time. I mean, that could be $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 of total cost that they might be able to not have to add on to their loan if that money's sitting in an escrow account and the escrow account can't be rolled over. Like, understand these strategies, what's available to you, and then also be able to articulate those to a borrower in some sort of a worksheet if possible, preferably, like Mortgage Coach, MBS Highway, something like that, that's clean, that's simple, it's concise, but have those templates built. Be ready for this. We know that it's going to be coming. So understand closing cost structures and how you might present those different ideas to your borrower. That's number 7. Number 8 is set up your clients for their next transaction. Look, this applies to both purchases and refinances. Every time that you talk to a client and you close a loan for them, you should be talking about at what step might they need your services again. Obviously, with a purchase, if you're closing purchases right now, rates are still pretty elevated. Chances are these people will have a chance to refinance. When would they refinance? Well, you want to be after the EPO period. Maybe even set a target rate, set a strike rate for them when they originate their current loan on when you might reach out to them to do a potential refinance. If you're refinancing them, we know that there's a very good possibility this could be a multi-year reduction in interest rates over time. So if that's the case and you're able to save them some money now, maybe you're taking them from 7.5%, 8% down to 6.5%. Well, what's that next opportunity where it might make sense for them to refinance? Plan that into their current refinance and set them up for a phone call. Let them know when rates reach this point, it's going to make sense again. I'll be reaching out to you. So sell that next loan while you're working on their current loan. And build some scripting around that and what you're going to say. So that was number 8. Number 9, have a plan to make sure that you do not abandon your real estate partners, okay? We have all been focused on purchase business for the last couple of years because frankly, that's all there was. And I know many of you have had to go out and build new realtor relationships. Do not let those deteriorate because you get focused on a refinance cycle. So make sure that in your business plan, you are carving out the time, regardless of how busy you are with refinances, to stay in touch with your realtors just as you have been. Matter of fact, there's probably going to be opportunity to pick up abandoned real estate agents, people who their loan officers do shift their focus to refinance. They're going to feel like they're orphaned by their loan officer. And if you have a really good strategy to maintain a focus on purchase business, even during a refinance cycle, you can pick up some new relationships. We've seen it happen many, many times. So make sure that's part of your business plan. And number 10, and lastly, have fun. Have fun, right? I mean, this business has been such a grind, and I feel like we're getting into a time where we could have fun, but we got to remind ourselves to have fun, live free. Don't get so hung up. It can be stressful when your pipeline starts growing, but remind yourself that that we're here to have fun, enjoy our jobs. That's what we're here to do. I know it's easier to do when you're actually making money. So don't forget that part of it, but also save your money. This is a time as we move into a refinance cycle, it's a really good time to save money. So many of us have gone through periods in the last couple of years where we didn't know how or what our next paycheck was going to be. And that's not a fun feeling. This is the opportunity that's coming right ahead of us where you might be able to set some funds aside, rebuild your savings account, rebuild your reserves. Please make that a focus. And lastly, I would say part of this as well is schedule some time off. It's probably going to be a much busier cycle. There's less people in the mortgage industry. We know interest rates are going to come down at some point. That's going to fuel the purchase business. It's going to fuel some refinances. So don't let yourself get burnt out in this cycle. I think it's going to last for a while. So number 10 is just have fun, save money, and schedule some time off for yourself because you're probably going to need it. So you guys, that's my top 10. This is coming from experience. I've been through these cycles a number of times. I'm excited for what we're going to see as things start to loosen up in the mortgage space. But please go through and make sure every one of these you're dialed in on and ready to take advantage of the market as it shifts. Thank you so much for your time and attention here on Market Shares. I really do appreciate it. If you get value out of this content, or if you know somebody that you think would get value, please share this with them and tell them to check out Market Shares. And of course, make sure that you're liked and subscribed to the channel so you don't miss an episode. They do drop every single Friday at 10 a.m. and we have some exciting episodes in the works. So keep watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.